Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 10 of the FC25 Rebuild Career Mode here with Sheffield Wednesday. And we're starting off by jumping straight into a game at home on the 1st of January for the new year in 2025 against Derby County. You'd have seen there a few changes in the team due to the Christmas and New Year fixture congestion, causing our players, obviously, low fitness. Obviously, we've got a thin squad anyway, so we have got a few changes in there. Most notable, probably, Otigbayo, who just signed a new contract with us at the end of the last episode. He is starting left back, which isn't his normal position, but hopefully he can do a decent job there. And then just before the game, it did tell us that Yates, the Derby striker, is the top scorer in the league with 18 goals. So one of our main jobs in this game for Otigbayo and for all the other defenders in the team will be to keep Yates quiet. But I just want to start this episode by just saying thank you. Obviously, we're 10 episodes in, which in the grand scheme of things in terms of obviously YouTube and everything like that, it's not a massive deal. But I think in terms of obviously a new channel, new series and everything like that, it feels great to get double figures finally and get to those 10 episodes. Long may it continue, and hopefully we can get to plenty more in this career mode with Sheffield Wednesday, and obviously plenty more videos and series in the future. So I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who's watched any of the 10 episodes up to this point and if anyone's watched all of them, obviously absolutely brilliant. Comment down below if you have, because that'd be absolutely amazing to see. But to anyone that's watched any of these videos, I do want to say a massive thank you to you all. And as I say, long may it continue, and hopefully I can put out some good content that everyone will enjoy, and hopefully you guys can stay around for a lot longer to keep up with this series and all future series. But going into obviously this episode, like I say, we did have a change squad against Derby here at home for the new year for 2025, and it was Derby who were really pressing this game. Really, they've had a few chances throughout. They've got another chance here through Yates, who, as I said at the start of the game, is the top scorer in the league with 18 goals. So we knew he was going to be a massive threat for them. But much like the rest of this series so far, Piers Charles has kept us in this one, kept the scores down to 0-0, and hopefully he'll be able to continue that and we can get a good result here with the changed-up squad. We know how difficult games have been with the changed-up squad in the past, especially when we have had to change up with defence. So hopefully we can obviously keep that clean sheet up. But unfortunately, Elder, the Derby captain, actually does manage to get a goal there. They get the original shot away. It takes a deflection off a defender, falls to one of their attackers, Osborne, on the left-hand side of the goal. He gets a shot away, but Piers Charles makes a really good save. But unfortunately, the bounce out just falls to their captain, Elder, and he manages to slot away into an empty net from about 3 yards out. And then Hayward, just towards the end of the game, we brought on Barry Band in this game, showing good feet like he did on his sort of first game that he ever had for us. He showed good feet, played in Ingleson, but unfortunately the shot was saved and it did end 1-0 Derby. And then we do come out with a contract offer from Finland men's team. And if my memory serves me right, I'm pretty sure we got an offer from Finland women's team the other episode, which we turned down as well. So Finland, regardless, whichever team, women's, men's, anything like that, want me for some reason, but I've rejected them both. Obviously, my main focus is Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe something for the future, but definitely not at the minute. And then a few messages from a few different players just stating how they feel. And then we did, as we have entered the January transfer window, get some transfer offers. Paul Sullivan was the first one, the left winger, rejected that one. Liam Palmer recently signed a new contract, rejected that one. And then Alexander Thomas, the young defensive midfielder, we did reject that one. We're not going to reject all offers. I think as long as the team suits that they're going to, and it makes sense in terms of realism, we will look to sell them. But at this stage, especially the youngsters, I don't feel any of them, unless they get sort of a Premier League move, I don't really feel comfortable with them moving abroad or anything like that. So we'll see how many offers come in and what that looks like going forward. But for now, we reject those three. And then we move on to actually our first signing ever in this career mode, Jakub Piotrowski. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. A free agent, 27-year-old central midfielder from Poland. 69 rated. Like we said, in January, we are just going to look for free agents and possible loan moves. And then obviously from June onwards, when the season ends and we go into the new season, we'll have a think about how that looks. I'm thinking possibly we might, because obviously we want to keep this realistic in terms of what's going on with Sheffield Wednesday, but also I'm fully aware, obviously, keeping the sort of entertainment factor, and transfers is a big part of that in career mode. So I do want to keep the entertainment factor as well. So I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of sort of a one in, one out policy in the summer. So we'd have to sell someone and then we could only buy someone, but we could only buy someone for maximum of value we sold the player they're replacing. So I'm going to have a think about what that looks like. Obviously, we've got a little bit of time, but as always, any comments or suggestions on how to make this realistic but fun at the same time are obviously always welcome. But just going back to Piotrowski there, he is, I checked out, he's actually, which I only realised after I actually signed him and recording this audio, he's actually just signed at the start of August for Udinese in Serie A. He's had a bit of a career around Poland, around Belgium and Germany, and then he was in Bulgaria until obviously they did release him. And then, like I say, he has just joined Udinese in real life. He's got 12 caps Poland, 2 goals as well. So he looks like a decent player. He's not a sort of rating that's too high for the team, I don't think. Obviously, you've got a few players in the 70s and he's 69 rated, so I don't think he's too unrealistic to bring in. But like I say, if he performs well and if he gets some big offers coming in the future for him, then obviously we can look to sell him and replace him. And one of the big things you saw there as well, we're actually looking to convert him to a right back. Although he's a central midfielder and he will be able to play central midfield and do a job in there, our main actual sort of issue at the minute is the right back spot. Jan Valerie's been absolutely fantastic for us, but the problem is we haven't got anyone else who can play right back other than Iorfa, but we've spoken about how much Iorfa and Bernard, if we take one of them out, how much it affects us. So we decided to play Piotrowski in right back in this game with the intention that he is going to eventually, it might take a while, but eventually get to that right back spot as his main position. And he actually played really well, to be fair, and you'll see a couple of clips throughout of him in this game. He actually played really well, but he's got good all-round stats, and like I say, he will still get the chance to play in that central midfield role, but I feel like he can definitely do a job at right back as and when we need him, obviously in place of Valerie. Valerie is still going to be our starting right back unless Piotrowski plays absolutely phenomenally. Valerie will still be our right back. We don't feel, although we've converted one of the youngsters in the youth academy to right back, we don't feel he's quite ready and quite the rating and sort of stats we want in terms of the first team. So Piotrowski, central midfielder, right back. If I'm being honest, he looks like he could do a job anyway. He looks like a really good player, so hopefully we can get the best out of him. But you saw the goal from Campbell from the corner, from the edge of the box, whip one into that top-hand corner. And then we actually managed to get our second goal of the game just soon after through Cadamaturi. You saw there the break from, I think it was a corner from Millwall beforehand. We broke, Campbell played it into Hayward. Hayward actually did a really nice first-time flick over the top of their defence, and it was Cadamaturi just managed to slot it past the goalkeeper, and we took the 2-0 lead in this game at home to Millwall. And to be fair, we were on top of this game. Obviously, we did make some more changes in this game with the fixture congestion we've spoken about. We've got players like Devin Long in right wing. We spoke about Cadamaturi up front. We've spoken about, obviously, Piotrowski in right back. So we did have to make some changes, but we're playing really well. And actually, our day got a lot better there. You saw there the overhyped touch from Duncan Watmore on the left-hand side there. Bernard picked it up. He was just playing a nice, easy ball back to our goalkeeper, Pierce Charles. And Duncan Watmore had a complete rush of blood just before half-time, slid in, second yellow card of the game. Bernard wasn't going anywhere, so there was no need to make a challenge, so I can only imagine it was a bit of a rush of blood. Slid in, gets his second yellow card of the game, and gets a red card and puts Millwall down to 10 men. So we're already 2-0 up. We were a man up as well, so we thought this game was fairly wrapped up already. We'd still obviously keep pushing, and we were aware Millwall would still come back and try and get some chances, but we were fairly confident we were going to be able to win this game. And our chance to kick on, you saw there again, Hayward. He started this game. I think it was his first ever start for us in the senior squad. And he was playing really well again with those quick feet and little passes. He played the ball into Charlie McNeil there, but unfortunately McNeil couldn't put it away. And then, like I said, Millwall weren't going to go completely line down. They got a chance there for Connolly, but unfortunately for him, he put it wide of the post and the game did end 2-0. So a good result to sort of round out that game. And obviously after the defeat by Derby, it was really, really nice to get that win. And then a few nice messages here. Hayward saying thank you obviously for the game. Lowe saying thanks for the game to him as well. And then Bernard, after his weird first message, if you want to go back and read that, he came back and said obviously thanks for being back in the team. And we were never going to replace him. He's only been out when obviously fitness needed, but he's been really good for us. But after that game, obviously one win against Millwall there and then the defeat against Derby, we knew that we had to look for a new youth scout report. Obviously we took the first, or we've got one in England out for 9 months, and we did have the other one out in America for 6 months, who, to be fair, brought some absolute gems in terms of like Campbell, and there's a couple of other players, Sullivan in the youth academy as well. We've got some absolute gems from that American, but he was only in for 6 months, so we did decide to get another youth scout out to Mexico this time, look at some fullbacks, right backs and left backs. Obviously there are two positions where we do need a little bit of depth, so hopefully he can come back with some good players. And then another couple of transfer offers. Alex Campbell, we're never letting him go unless a massive offer comes in from a realistic club. And we also had an offer for the reserve goalkeeper Parkinson from Real Sociedad of all clubs, but again reject it. Again, it's not realistic. He's not. If he goes to an English club that's above us, fair enough for the future. But I don't think he's in a position where he can go out to Spain and sort of have that development. And obviously, we want these players to develop. So we're just looking at the youth academy now in terms of players we've got. We will look to sort of review that, possibly remove some players from that to bring some new players in when these Mexicans come. But for now, we feel like a really good place with everything. Like I say, we've only got one injury, which is Iko at the minute. And then obviously going forward, we'll hopefully be able to get some more youth players in and fill out this squad a little bit more. But just looking at the table again in the background, 26 games in, we are in decent position in sort of that midfield pack. We're about 9 or 10 points off of the playoffs at the minute, but we're also about 10 points clear of any relegation threat, which I don't think is going to be an issue. So we're sitting pretty in mid-table at the minute, but we're obviously hoping to push up. And we're just in the background looking at the sort of stats of the top scorers in the league, clean sheets, assists, reds, yellow cards, etc., etc., so everyone's aware of where we are. But that's going to bring the episode to an end. It's only 2 games today, but I hope you have enjoyed it. As always, please hit that like button, please subscribe, and comment any suggestions.